This video is going to be about me showing you lots of different things, which I think are important to help you understand what I've been through and to give you my input on those things. So let's begin. I think it was November 2018, I went to my GP, who is based in Enfield, North London, and I requested a copy of my medical records from him. The reason I asked for my medical records was because I had a skin infection at the time, and this is something that I've had a few times throughout my life. So I was prescribed an over-the-counter cream for this infection, and I forgot the name of the cream, so I just wanted to know the name of the cream so I could go and get it without having to explain and show him this and that. But when he actually gave me the medical records, my eyes just kind of fell out. This is what I saw on there. Right at the top, it's dated 9th of January 2015, and it says, "Father came to see regarding patient. She has not left house for 4 years. Mother is a gastroenterologist at North Middlesex Hospital. The patient is locked in her room and wants him to leave home when mother not at home. Mother shouldn't talk to husband at home. I told him to bring the daughter for me to treat." Right? Now, there is so much wrong with this that I don't even know where to start. But I cannot tell you how it made me feel when I saw this, you guys. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I can't tell you how it made me feel to learn that my father, who is abusive, was able to go to my GP, my doctor, and tell him all sorts of things about me, and to just have that put on my record without even me being consulted at any point. The GP was just happy to take him at his word. At the time, back in 2015, I was 18 years old. My birthday's in April, so I would have turned 19 in about 3 months. I was not a child, I was an adult. And back at this time, I was not contacted about this whatsoever. The GP did not contact me about this. And I only found out 4 years later, quite by chance. Let's actually have a look at what's been written here. It says, first of all, I want to go to the very last sentence. And it says, "I told him to bring the daughter for me to treat." Hang on a minute. Why would you let someone else do your job for you? If you think I need treatment, you would make the effort to contact me directly. That's one thing. Second thing, and this is the most important thing about all of this, is that the way my GP chose to handle this was a breach of patient confidentiality. Like I already said, I was 18 years old. So if you're a doctor and someone comes to you and asks to talk to you about one of your other patients, you would have to say, "Sorry, I can't discuss my other patients with you." So my GP handled this entire thing in an appalling way. He broke my confidentiality. And so that's one thing. Now let's talk about the rest of what's been written here. It says she has not left house for 4 years. That's pretty much true. That sentence is true. Because in 2015, since I left school in 2012, I hadn't really made much progress. And the reason I hadn't made any progress was because I was stuck with these two in circumstances that did not enable me to flourish. These are some photos of the flat that I was staying in with the two of them at the time. These are staff residences in Chase Farm Hospital. And this is where I lived for most of my childhood years, from about 2005 all the way to, I think it was October 2015 when we moved away to Cheshunt. Can you imagine the nerve of this man to go and chat shit like that about me to my GP when he's got a house like this? Next sentence, it says mother is gastroenterologist at North Middlesex. This is also true. The patient is locked in her room and wants him to leave home when mother is not at home. So in other words, I didn't feel safe being in the house alone with that man. I was scared to be in the house alone with him. That's the thing I find interesting, not just about this, but some of the things that I'm going to be showing you later on. The way they take something that should really be an argument in my favor and manage to sort of turn that against me. Like, for example, here, they've written down that I'm not happy being in the house alone with him when my mother is not at home. So, really, that should have worked in my favor and have been used to safeguard me, because if I don't feel comfortable being in the house alone with him, you've got to ask why that is. Surely there's a reason for that. But no, they've just written that down in a way that makes me look bad and that makes my abusers look like the victims. They've tried to make it seem like my behavior was irrational and out of order. It shows how manipulative these people are. And it also shows how empowered my abusers must have felt, because if my father was able to go to my GP and he felt bold enough to go there and tell him, my daughter doesn't want to be in a house alone with me, any sensible person would have questioned, okay, so why is that? Why is your daughter scared of you? Why is it that she doesn't want to be in the house alone with you? But this GP has just written that down. What this was an attempt by my father to gain control and power over me. Because you see, he recognized my GP as a potential source of support for me. And he wanted to create a barrier between me and that support, so that if in future I were to reach out to my GP, then I might not be taken seriously. From the day I was born, I have absolutely despised and have been terrified of my father. Living in a house with that man is just impossible. You're always walking on eggshells. He's like a ticking time bomb. My mother worships the man. She's very fond of him, and she always has been very fond of him. See, she watches the way that he treats me, and she's not bothered by it whatsoever. She'll stand right by him. And it's not just that she worships him. She also insists on forcing him on me. And when we lived in Chase Farm, in that flat, that tiny flat that I just showed you pictures of, even though she knew that I could not stand him, she was determined to force him on me. And it gave her this kind of amusement. He had no respect for my boundaries. He would degrade me. He would treat me like dirt. He'd sometimes even lay hands on me. And I pleaded with my mother to keep him away from me. At one point, I just told her, listen, I refuse to share the same roof as this man. I absolutely refuse. Either he's gonna have to go, or I'm gonna have to go. There was one time when it was around 10 o'clock at night, and I accidentally dropped my spoon, which I was eating from, on the floor, and he went berserk, and he lunged at me, and she had to hold him back. I did not feel safe being alone with my father, and I expressed that to my mother. Next sentence: mother shouldn't talk to husband at home. That sentence right there has no truth to it whatsoever. I never at any point said that she shouldn't talk to him. All I said was that I do not want any contact with him. That's actually what I said there. So anyway, after I saw this is what I said to myself. Oh no, you don't. Oh no, you do not. I refuse to play these games with you anymore. So then, an idea came into my mind. And I think it was one of the best ideas I've ever had. It was pure genius. I just thought, okay, if you want to go down to that level, we can go down to that level. What I did was I phoned my grandparents who reside in India, and I told them about this. And I said to them, look, he's been up to his tricks again, and you know what he's like. You know how much I've been suffering. You've seen him. You've seen the way he's treated me for a long time. So I'd really appreciate it if you could talk to my GP over the phone and clarify, tell him the truth behind everything, the kind of things that you have witnessed. Please let him know, I said to them. And initially my grandparents did not agree to that. They were like, no way, we're not doing that. So I said to them, listen, if this kind of thing goes on, it's going to affect my life, various areas of my life. I said that to them. My studies and this and that, he's just going to keep doing this sort of thing. And my grandma said to me, I'll tell you what, I'll think about it. You call me back in a week's time and I will think about it. I will discuss this with your grandfather and we will let you know whether we're willing to help you here. So I did that. I called them back in a week's time. They were willing to do it. So then what I decided to do, that wasn't the end of my plan, you see. I downloaded an app called ACR Call Recorder that's available on Google Play. That's free to use. And that easily allows you to record any phone call. So I downloaded this. I set it up on my phone. And then I went to my GP, phoned my grandparents, and handed the phone to my GP with them on the line, and they had a conversation. And that conversation was recorded by this app. And that's the next thing that I'm going to play to you guys. So please listen to this. I've done some translations because my grandparents only speak Tamil fluently. And my GP, fortunately, can also speak Tamil because he's Sri Lankan. Neither my grandparents nor my GP knew that they were being recorded. So anyway, here is the conversation that was recorded.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
நான் கோயம்புத்தூர்ல இருந்து பேசுறேங்க சார். இந்தியால.
சொல்லுங்க.
இந்தியா, சவுத் இந்தியா. I think you know Tamil.
நல்லா தெரியும் தமிழ். சொல்லுங்க.
I heard நம்ம குழந்தைக்கு ஒரு அட்வைஸ் ரிமார்க் அவ மெடிக்கல் ரிப்போர்ட்ல இருக்கிறதாக சொன்னா we are very much worried about it. பட் அது ஃபேக்டா இருந்தா பரவாயில்ல. இட் இஸ் நாட் ஃபேக்ட் சார். பிகாஸ் அவருடைய அப்பா வந்து ரொம்ப ரூட் ஃபெல்லோ, டெரரிஸ்ட் அண்ட் ரூட் பிஹேவியர். சின்ன குழந்தையில இருந்து ராட்சசம் மாதிரி அவளை கட்டா முசான்னு பேசிட்டு டெரரைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருப்பான். இப்பவும் கூட அப்படிதான் இருக்கான். ஷீ இஸ் கெட்டிங் ஆன் அஸ் அ ஸ்லேவ் இன் தட் ஹவுஸ். ஃபேமிலி ஸ்பிரிட் ஆயிட்டோன்னுட்டு அது ஜாஸ்தி இவளுக்கு வேண்டி ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிட்டு அது ரெண்டு பேரையும் செப்பரேட்டா அப்படியே கொண்டு போயிட்டு இருக்காங்க. இதெல்லாம் எங்கனாலே நாங்களும் சொல்லி பார்த்தாலும் கேட்கறது இல்ல. அதனால விட்டுட்டோம். ஏதோ அவ கொஞ்சம் ஒரு வேலைக்கு வந்து சம்பாதிச்சு 2 காசு சம்பாதிச்சு நல்லா வந்துட்டான்னா போறோம். நாங்களும் இங்க இருக்கிறோம். அங்க அவள் பாத்துக்கிறதுக்கு ஆள் இல்ல. அதே ஒரிஸ் தான் எங்களுக்கு எப்ப பார்த்தாலும். நம்ம ஒய்ஃபும் எப்பவும் அதையே ஒரி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. இருந்தாலும் அவங்க அம்மா அப்பாவுக்கு இது விஷயம் நாங்க பேசின தெரிய வேண்டாங்க சார். ஏன்னா தெரிஞ்சதுன்னா எங்க ஃபேமிலிக்குள்ள ஸ்பிரிட் ஆயிடும். புண்ணியாடுறது மாதிரி எல்லாம் போய் பேச சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னா தெரியாம தயவு செய்து அது விஷயம் அவங்களுக்கு எதுவும் தெரியப்படுத்த வேண்டாங்க சார். நம்ம ஒய்ஃபும் உங்ககிட்ட பேசணும்னு சொல்லுது கொடுக்குறேங்க சார்.
ஹலோ
ஹலோ சார், நமஸ்காரம்.
நமஸ்காரம், சொல்லுங்க.
நமஸ்காரம்.
வணக்கம், சொல்லுங்க.
விஷ்ணு எங்க பேத்தி ரொம்ப நல்ல குழந்தை சார். அவங்க அப்பா வந்து ரொம்ப டார்ச்சர் பண்றாரு. அதாவது அவ ஒரு குழந்தைத்தனமா நடந்துக்கிறாங்கிறத நினைக்கிறதே இல்ல. அவ ரொம்ப ஃபீல் பண்றா சார். அவளுக்கு அங்க வேற யாரும் இல்ல, ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸு யாரும் இல்ல. சின்ன குழந்தையில இருந்தே அவர் அப்படித்தான் பண்றாரு. நாங்களும் ரொம்ப டீப்பா போய் பேசுறதுக்கும் வழி இல்ல. ஏன்னா நம்ம ஃபேமிலி மருமகனாச்சு, என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியல. அதனால ப்ளீஸ் உங்களை பிரதரா நினைச்சு கேட்டுக்கிறேன். அவ ஆக்சுவலா நல்ல பொண்ணு. எந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் அவன் சொல்ற மாதிரி எல்லாம் இல்லவே இல்ல. ரொம்ப என்னுடைய வளர்ப்புல வளர்ந்த குழந்தை அது. நான் உங்ககிட்ட எல்லாம் வந்து ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டும் எடுத்திருக்கேன். 3-4 தடவை வந்தேன். உங்களையும் பார்த்திருக்கேன். உங்ககிட்ட ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டும் எடுத்திருக்கேன். எதிர்காலம் அவளுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல முறையா இருக்கணும். இன்னொன்னு, எந்த காரணம் கொண்டும் அவங்க அப்பா அம்மாவுக்கு நம்ம பேசுனது தெரிய வேண்டாம் சார்.
அப்பா அம்மா எங்க இருக்காங்க?
அங்கதான் யூகே, லண்டன்ல. சித்ரா டாக்டர். சித்ரா டாக்டர் இது எண்டோஸ்கோபிஸ்ட். நல்ல அவங்க ஓரளவுக்கு அப்படியே அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. இவங்க அப்பாவுக்கும் பொண்ணுக்கும் கொஞ்சம் கூட ஒத்து போறது இல்ல. இப்ப இல்ல, சின்னதுல இருந்தே. அது ஏன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. அது அதுக்குதான் சார் உங்களை ட்ரபிள் பண்றதா.
For my grandparents to admit to something like this, you don't know how huge that is. I guess even they felt pity for me enough to decide to do something about it. And you see, my grandparents, when I was growing up, all those years, they were aware that I was suffering. But they never did anything about it. And they just kept quiet, and they told me to keep quiet. And that's why this is really special, because this is pretty much the only helpful thing that my grandparents have ever done for me. It's the nicest, genuinely nicest thing they've ever done for me. Now, if you think I stopped with that, you're wrong, because I actually did one more thing, and that is, as well as recording my grandparents' conversation with my GP, I also recorded my conversation, which I had face to face during this very same incident with my GP. So I voice recorded my conversation with my GP as well. during this same exact session. And that's the next thing that I'd like you guys to listen to. So here it is.
Hello, good afternoon. How can I help you today?
Pardon?
How can I help you?
It's a shame that we only have 10 minutes actually, because I've got quite a lot to get through in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So the first thing is that my grandparents would like to speak to you. They'd like a word with you.
Who is there? Your grandparents who are there?
Yeah, my grandparents. They'd like a word with you.
Uh-huh.
They can speak Tamil as well.
Yeah.
ஹலோ தாத்தா, நான் எங்க டாக்டர் இருக்கிறார், நான் கொடுக்கட்டுமா போனு? இந்தாங்க.
Hello. Good morning. ஆமாம் சொல்லுங்க. நல்லது. நல்லா பேசுங்க, சொல்லுங்க.
I wanted to show you
Talk to you. You see, they will talk to you. That is like.
It's I wanted to show you some things there. The phone has hung up. So this, I wanted to talk to you about this. So I requested a copy of my medical records the last time I came to see you, and I did that quite innocently, just out of curiosity. I wasn't expecting to see this, and it's only when I requested it that I found this. And it's written here, she has not left the house for 4 years. The patient is locked in her room and wants to leave home when mother is not at home. This is absolute nonsense.
Who wrote this?
I don't know, but it was on my medical record. It's a photocopy. It's a photocopy.
When did you register with us?
Pardon?
When did you register with us?
Oh, 10 years ago in 2003.
2015.
This was in 2015. The thing is that this is absolute nonsense. What he doesn't mention here, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the last 4 years have been difficult for me. I'm not saying that they weren't difficult for me, but the reason they've been difficult is because of my father's behavior. He's been abusive in the house towards me and his wife as well. I even saw him hit his wife once. That's what he doesn't mention here. Despite that, I've been trying to study and work hard. Look, I've got certificates here for my. This is the recent certificate.
So, is the father came and told this to us, or is it that letter? Who mentioned this? You came with your father, is it?
I didn't come with my father. This happened without my knowledge. So, my father apparently came in here.
Your father came to see me. The father has told me.
Yeah, he's written here. It's very deceptive because it's not really true. His behavior has been really bad, and the reason I've been struggling for 4 years is because of that. He's saying that I haven't left the house, and he claims that I told him not to talk to his wife. That's not true. It's really not true. And look at this.
I told him to bring the daughter for me to treat. Okay. I asked that we just mention this. We put it to the record so that is again. So I can put down that it's true.
I mean that's fine, but I was very angry when I saw this because the fact that he was able to come to you. You're my doctor, and I trust you. And he was able to come to you and tell you a bunch of lies and have it believed by you. I was really shocked by that.
I mean, whatever he told me, I had to put it in record.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, but this is a lie, so I can put it down because it's.
Yeah, it is a lie. And can I show you some other things, please? So this is my certificate that I recently managed to achieve. I've been working for them for the last 2 years. Access to HE in science. You can look at the back at the second one as well. It's been really hard for me to achieve this in the circumstances at home.
You are the only child, is it?
Yeah.
Very good distinctions.
Yeah, I had to work really hard.
Chemistry, very good. Well done.
And something else happened in 2016. In 2016, I received a letter to my house, and it was an anonymous letter. Here's a photocopy of that letter. It's written like this. It says, "Dear Miss Vrishni." This is just nonsense. You are directed to maintain diary of your daily activities. You may be suffering from depression. Who is this anonymous person to diagnose me?
This is
Computer-generated letter which requires no signature, and it says social services, designated counsellor. They don't like it. It's nonsense. The letter is written in a really appalling manner. Look at the spelling and grammar. It hasn't even been spell checked. The spelling and grammar is really bad. This is just absolute nonsense. It's a really bizarre and threatening letter. And I know that my father wrote this. I think it's cowardly not to put a name at the bottom. It's anonymous. That's not okay. And here's another thing I'd like to show you.
You may someone request from your place.
Yeah, he has no right to diagnose me.
Really asking. Please do not contact the office since you have moved out of Congress. We pass on your details to the local authority of your area.
It's just nonsense.
They
don't write like that. And another thing I want to show you is this. So this is a picture of a bag that I found that my father left around the house. And there's something scribbled on it, and this is an enlarged version of what's scribbled on it. It says, "Troubled teenager, stopped school a few years ago, sitting at home, same old thing that he's accusing me of." And one thing is he calls me a troubled teenager. Right? You can see from my school report that I was by no means a troubled teenager.
I don't worry about him. I think
you can see
the other thing is just you have to find your own place,
Yeah, but the thing is, he calls me a troubled teenager, and when you read all of this, you can see I was very far from a troubled teenager.
I know. I think he's traumatizing you mentally.
Yes, he is.
So what you need to do is get out of the house and get your support from your mother and stay away from you.
I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to kind of get an education.
No permission for father to stay at home.
That's because I couldn't stand him at one point, and I told my mother that I just refused to live with him. It's nonsense. And here's another thing. He always leaves letters like this. He always writes letters like this in the house. And this is another one he wrote for me. It says, "Attention, Vrishni." Really bizarre. He left this outside my door. Hope you wish me hours back.
I'm going to because what is he not doing any work? He's just at home, isn't it?
At the moment, I don't know what he's doing.
What was he doing before?
Well, he was attending college. The last thing I
know. When he came to the country, he
was working at Chase Farm Hospital as a housekeeper. Yeah. And these are notes that my mother wrote. She's not that much better either. She's just like.
Hope you wish me.
Yeah, these are notes that my mother wrote and left outside my door. But I don't know why they write things like this, because I'm proud of my face. Look at your face in the mirror. And she wrote this and left it outside my door. She's written more as well.
Are they wasting for you to leave home and live separately once you...
I'm trying to do that.
Yes, not long. You have to...
She just wrote this.
Now you are adult, so
yeah, that's a good thing.
Now showing why.
And these are recent photographs of my house. This is my kitchen. That's the state of my kitchen.
Your mom is full-time working, is it? Or
Yeah, she is full-time right now.
yes, that's what it is. And she doesn't keep the house tidy. So with that
It's always been like this for a very long time. But they've been deceiving you, and I felt that it was important to show this to you. I've been quiet about this. I've been very, very quiet about this.
You have to stand on your feet now, and you've got problem to stay here, isn't it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, then why worry?
There's no problem, but I see what you mean, but I just, because he came here and told you something that's not true.
Yeah, true,
And I wanted to clarify it to you.
Yeah,
that's all.
fine, yeah. Okay, I will put down everything.
Because I wanted to show you what the situation was like for me.
Yeah. Stress at home.
I would say abuse, actually.
Yeah.
I would say abuse at home.
Yeah. I can take it, yeah. Abused, abused by parents and not me by the
Maybe domestic abuse, I think. I thought it was important to show this to you today. I've been quiet about it, my grandparents have been quiet about it. That's it.
I can't believe your mom, I think, the history of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
How long have you since the childhood or when you after coming here?
Well, I mean, it's been since my childhood, but in the last 4 or 5 years, it's kind of gotten worse.
Since childhood, but 4 to 5 years worth. You don't open the room, but then you stay in your room.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah.
You don't go into the common room and.
I try not to. I try to just get on with my studies and do my thing. Yeah. And I've started swimming recently as well.
So you haven't been to uni, not yet?
I'm about to start actually. Yeah, it's a late start, but you know.
Yeah. That's right, you have to go to uni, get a place, accommodation, and leave.
Yeah.
And then you will become, you'll be exposed to other things that these people will be coming behind you.
Yeah.
Now because you are told they're trying to push you down.
Yeah.
Not allowing you to,
Yeah, that's why
they think that you are a baby. She's a baby, you're just trying to suppress you. Just have to.
That's why I got the certificate to get me into university. I'm doing radiography at university.
Very good. No, yeah, brilliant. You can become, top radiographer, or whatever if you choose.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's just that my maths, I struggle with maths a little.
Yes, chemistry is good, excellent. Very few children do well in chemistry,
Yeah.
So once you go get first class or something like that, then you will be a different person.
Yeah.
They will be behind you.
Yeah.
Don't stay at home. People say, oh, you can say, well, mother is earning, so you say that I want to be in the accommodation close to the uni.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
get
have to
that.
anyway because there's in this where I live in the Hertfordshire area. There's not many universities, so I have to go to London.
Yeah, go down. Go away from the parents.
Yeah.
I know, I have patients here, they have got into medicine
Yeah.
in Scotland because the mother's pressure,
Oh yeah.
in Sri Lanka especially,
Yeah.
so much of pressure they give to the daughters and sons,
Yeah.
study all the time, they get fed up, they leave home and go far away.
Yeah. Obviously, that's not been the case with my parents because they've been abusive. They haven't been wanting me to do well. So, like my grandparents said. I feel like they've been jeopardizing my education and everything.
At least they want her, you're the only child, they want to be protective. I think that's...
I don't think it's protective. I think they've been abusive of me. Because my father's behavior, like my grandmother said, I don't think it's a protective thing.
That's maybe, you're right. Do you want to keep it here or you want to put it in the record, all these notes?
Well, which one's
Which one do you want to...
Well, I want to keep my school report.
Yeah, keep that one.
That, my certificate.
These ones,
This one is with me.
So if you want, you can give it to them to scan and then you can take it with you.
Yeah,
These ones just to,
all of these I think.
to prove that you have been abused.
Yeah, I think that's where are those going to be?
Yeah.
I'll give these ones to the
Then for them to scan it, and I'll send them.
I mean, I'm sorry for taking up so much time today, sir.
It's all right.
And there we have it. Now, there's many things which I could comment on about this, but I'm just going to keep it short. I don't like the way that when I confronted him about the way he handled my thing, he just sort of defended himself and insisted that what he did was okay. And he, at one point you hear the sentence, I asked him to send you for treatment. He reiterated that again. And what I don't like even more than that is towards the very end, after my grandparents spoke to him, and I emphasize after my grandparents spoke to him and told him everything that they told him, he tries to suggest that my parents' intentions towards me were not malicious, but it's just because I'm an only child, and like, he tried to say that, he said, she's our baby and things like that. Like, he tried to suggest that they were just being overprotective of me and nothing more. And that I found outrageous. Because how can you say that? How dare you say that after everything my grandparents told you? You know? So, it's a bit disappointing. But I'm still glad that he agreed to update my records, and he agreed. He did, in essence, agree to admit that I was abused. So that's a bit reassuring, I guess. Oh, and I nearly forgot to tell you that during this consultation, I also brought in some printouts to show my GP, in addition to conversation with my grandparents. And these are some of the things which I showed him. It's a paper bag which my father left on the dining table in the flat back in 2015. And I found it, and the reason he left it there was clearly hoping I would find it. You can see in the top right corner he scribbled some stuff down, and if you zoom in, this is what he scribbled down. It says, "Troubled teenager, stopped school few years ago," and the rest of it is basically the same kind of things that he told my GP. Before I even go into this, I just want to point out the obvious, that it is grossly abnormal for someone to do something like this, to write on a paper bag, on a Primark paper bag. It's just really bizarre. It's a bizarre thing for someone to do. He's called me a troubled teenager. Now, I can tell you that I was as far away from that as can possibly be. And to prove it, let me show you some of the school reports which I received from my teachers back when I was about 15. Vrishni adopts an excellent behavior and attitude at all times. She's a pleasure to teach. Well done, Mr. Lauritsen there. This is a slightly older one, but it says, "Vrishni is a polite and helpful student who makes a positive contribution to the form. Vrishni is organized and punctual and must remain focused next year in order that she continues to develop into an independent learner. Vrishni has undertaken her prefect duties with a responsible and reliable approach." So you can see this is very far away from troubled teenager. This is an extremely embarrassing picture of me from when I was 15. And I don't look that different to now, actually. Here's a picture of me now that was taken like 2 weeks ago. So I was not a troubled teenager, but I can show you some examples of what troubled teenagers look like. When I was at high school, I was bullied quite badly. This girl was one of my bullies, and her name is Katie Rose Arnold. And I found these pictures on her Facebook page. And this guy, he's called Paul Brady, and he was another one of my bullies. There was a time when 2 boys who bullied me were made to write letters of apologies to me by the head teacher. And I still have those letters. And here they are. Now, my head teacher at my high school, he was a very nice man, because most of the time when I was bullied, the other teachers witnessed it but didn't really do anything about it, and he was actually one of the only people to do something about it like that, like making my bullies write letters of apologies. Now back to this. After troubled teenager, he's written stopped school few years ago. Now that sentence makes it seem as though I was some kind of delinquent who was either expelled or who dropped out of high school, when actually I graduated high school with flying colours, which is amazing considering the kind of circumstances I was placed in at the time. I still managed to do really well, and I left school with 8 GCSEs in total. 4 of them were A's and A stars, and the rest of them were B's and C's. Next sentence, he's written, sitting at home all night awake and all day asleep. I think that's a particularly cruel way for him to point out that I was struggling to sleep properly and live in a healthy way. And he knows that the reason I was struggling is because of him. The rest of it, I'm not going to comment on because I feel like I've already commented on that because he said it to my GP. Oh, but the last sentence where he says, can't take phone calls from office, that's a complete lie. At no point did I say to them that they shouldn't take phone calls or anything like that. Now we're going to look at something else, which is actually quite similar to this. In 2015, I received an anonymous letter through the post. The letter didn't have any name or address on it. It had a stamp on it, and when I opened it, this is what it looked like. The letter claims to be from Enfield Social Services, which I don't believe for a minute, because when you look at this, there is no way that they would write something like this and they would send something like this. Absolutely no way whatsoever. It says, "Dear Miss Vrishni," and already notice the punctuation and grammar. You wouldn't address me as Miss Vrishni. You would address me as Miss and my surname, which is Sivakumaran. We would like to bring to your notice that asking parents each other to live separately is against law and advise you to refrain from any involvement on your part. It is not in order to ask parents not to have conversations at home. You are directed to maintain diary of your daily activities, including educational, recreational, detail of active communications with parents, etc. You may be suffering from depression and strongly advised to see your designated GP by making necessary appointment, who may ask about your day-to-day activities. You are reminded of the undertaking given, brackets, both of your parents have signed on your behalf, to Home Office while applying for stay in the UK. Please do not contact this office since you have moved out of the council area. We may pass on your details to the local authorities in your area. Thanks. This is a computer-generated letter which requires no signature. Social Services designated counsellor, Enfield, and the date. Now, this letter is absolutely appalling in every way, shape, and form. And I think the one word that I would use to describe it is sinister. It's downright sinister and threatening in so many ways. One thing I've learnt is that people who like to be anonymous and who like to hide their identity tend to be cowards, because people who have courage generally tend to show their identity and they tend to show their names and faces. And the way that this letter is anonymous is in itself sinister. The grammar is abysmal throughout the letter, and whoever typed this out and printed it off couldn't even be bothered to use the spelling and grammar feature on Microsoft Word. They're that callous that they couldn't even be bothered to do a spell check before printing this off and sending it to someone. You may be suffering from depression. How dare you diagnose me through an anonymous letter? You piece of shit, is all I could think at that point. And the whole Home Office thing and applying to stay in the UK, I don't know what that's about, because I was already a British citizen at this time. Please do not contact this office since you have moved out of the council area. There is no way that Enfield Council or any other council would write something like that. When I received this letter, it chilled me to the bone. This is the envelope that it came in. If you've made it this far and you're still watching and you haven't fallen asleep, then well done. You haven't seen anything yet, and there's a heck of a lot more to show you, so please stay tuned. In late 2015, my parents purchased a house not that far from Enfield. Quite a big house, 3 bedrooms or something. And we left the Chase Farm staff accommodations behind for good and moved there. And within a few short months, the new house also looked like the flat in Enfield. I took some videos to show you guys. This is where my parents currently live, and immediately you can see that it's a complete tip. This is the living room, and we're about to go into the kitchen. Now, With the previous place, they had an excuse, and that excuse was that it was a tiny place, and you could argue that they didn't have space to keep all of their things in it, and that's why it looked like that. But with this place, there's just no excuse, because it's a huge house, and a house this size should be enough for the vast majority of people. This is the kitchen. Just want you guys to take this all in. It's pretty shocking. Now, all of these things that you see here, in boxes that are just everywhere, they are worthless pieces of junk with no financial value or no sentimental value either. It's just junk that she's stuffed into boxes and trashed the place with. It's really disgusting to even look at. I want you guys to ask yourself the question, what kind of a person would keep their house like this? Just to remind you that my mother is a doctor. Does this look like a doctor's house? There she is. She's just standing there calmly washing the plates in the squalid mess that she's surrounded by. She knows I'm filming her, but she doesn't even care. It just repulses me to look at this woman. I mean, when you look at this woman, you can tell she's not normal. Just look at her, stood there, completely calm, in this kind of a disgusting mess that she's created. I'm sorry that the video isn't orientated correctly. I don't think any sane person would keep their house like this, let alone someone who's a doctor. Someone who's a doctor should know the importance of hygiene and the next thing that I want to show you guys, before I show you, my grandparents, I talk to them on the phone quite a lot. Though to be honest, not so much recently in the last 3 or 4 months, but prior to that I used to talk to them quite a lot, at least once a week. And when I talk to them, I have recorded many of their conversations that I had with them using this app, which I already showed you. I've recorded several of my conversations with my grandparents, and many of them are very interesting to listen to, and I'll be showing you that a bit later on. But prior to that, one time when I spoke to my grandfather on the phone, he told me that my mother was being very disrespectful to him when she goes over to visit, which she does quite a lot. My mother goes to visit India every 6 months or so. And my grandfather told me that when she comes over there, she's very disrespectful to my grandmother, and the way she talks to them. And so I said to him, why don't you do one thing? If I send you an MP3 player, which has a recording facility, you can use that to record my mother when she comes over there. So if she's ever disrespectful to you or my grandmother, make sure you catch that using my MP3 player. You can send me the footage back. And I said to them, and they asked me, okay, so what would you do with the footage? And I said to them, nothing. We're just going to keep it so that if she ever gets rude again, we can just show it to her. And my grandparents agreed to it. They agreed to do it. So I sent them an MP3 player, which has a recording feature. You can record stuff with it. And they did it. They recorded my mother. And they sent me back the footage. And that's what I want to show you guys. So, in what I'm about to show you, you can see my grandparents trying to talk to my mother. They're trying to express concerns to her. But she just shuts them down. And that this is what she always does whenever she's challenged. And I just want you guys to watch this.
சரி அது வேணா கேட்டு வரலாம்
அதனால அந்த மாதிரி அது வேணா செய்யலாம் இங்க போய் இவங்கிட்ட தொங்கி பிரயோஜனம் பையன் இவங்கிட்ட இல்ல இந்த பொம்பளை கையை விட்டு போயாச்சு இனி என்ன இவங்கிட்ட தொங்கி என்ன பிரயோஜனம் ஐ ஃபீல் இட்ஸ் a waste of time we need to move to the next level
செய்யலாம் மச்சான் போலாம்
அது வேணா இப்பவே போலாம் நான் போய் ரெடி ஆயிட்டு வரேன் இப்பவே
இப்போ உட்கார் கவிமா see இப்போ you are capable of handling our family இல்லைங்கல்ல ஆனால் இப்போ நானும் அம்மாவும் திங்க் பண்ணும்போது டீப்பாக நம்ம ஃபேமிலியுடைய ஃப்யூச்சர் இஸ் பிகமிங் டெட்லாக்னா ஒரு ஃபர்தர் டெவலப்மெண்ட் கிடையாது. அந்த பிறக்கிற குழந்தைய நுனியில் கிள்ளின மாதிரி அனாதையாக சுற்றிட்டு இருக்கான். அவள் எப்படி லைஃப்பு எப்படி யார் செட்டில் பண்ணுவான்? அவள் இப்போ நீங்கள் 3 பேர் இருக்கீங்கன்னா ஒரு நாள் 3 பேர் உட்காந்து சாப்பிட்றதே கிடையாது. இதில் சிவா ஹேஸ் டு சேஞ்ச் ஹிஸ் குவாலிட்டி மேக்ஸிமம் பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் இல்லை சொல்கிறேன் கோபம் வந்து டவுன் தரங்கிற இப்போ ஃபேமிலி என்ன பண்ணுறோம்னா டாபிக் இல்லை நம்ம ஃபேமிலி டெவலப் பண்ணோம்.
என்னால தாங்கவே முடியாது அம்மா. நான் வந்து ரொம்ப நீ நினைக்கிறீல இதை விட நானும் சிவாவும் மில்லியன் டைம்ஸ் இது
நீ சிவா இவ்வளவு தூரம் சொல்ற சிவாவை கண்டாதான் நடுங்குற
சொல்ற பேரு சத்தம் போடாத நடுங்கிறது இல்ல. நாங்க ரொம்ப தூரம் இதை யோசிச்சு நாங்க எங்களால முடிஞ்ச செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். அதோட அந்த டாபிக்
சரி அது என்ன பண்ணலாங்கிற ஃபைனலா
நீ ஒன்னும் சொல்ல வேண்டாம். அது விட்டுரு. அது நடக்கிறப்ப நடக்கும். நம்ம ஒண்ணு மட்டும் நாங்க
அஷூரன்ஸ்
அவன்
அனாத மாதிரி சுத்திட்டு இருக்கான்.
இல்லப்பா அவ கூட நான் இருக்கேன். அப்படியெல்லாம் சொல்லாதப்பா. நான் ரொம்ப கூடயே இருந்து பாத்துட்டு இருக்கேன். இப்போதைக்கு விட்டுரு. என்கிட்ட எந்த கொஸ்டினும் கேட்காத.
இப்படி சொன்னா எப்படி நம்ம ஃபியூச்சர் பாதுகாப்பு வேணுமே கவி.
அவளுக்கு வேணுங்கிறது 100 மில்லியன் டைம்ஸ் ஆமோதிக்கிறேன். அதுக்கு ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். கொஞ்சம் விட்டுரு.
நீ அப்படி பண்ணா கூட இல்ல அதை விட்டுட்டேன். இன்னொன்னு அதை விட்டுட்டேன் என்ன இப்போ அதை மாற்றி அவள் பேர் தெரிஞ்சிடலான்ட்டு அவளுக்கு நீ என்ன பண்ணுன்னா என்ன அவளுக்கு ஒன்றும் பண்ணுறே பண்ணலையோ நாங்கள் போன பிற்பாடு அவளுக்கு இந்த வீடை விற்று அவள் அக்கௌண்ட்டில் பணத்தை போட்டு அந்த ஹெல்ப்பாவது பண்ணிடு. நான் இந்த வீடை விற்று அவளுக்கு பேர் தெரிஞ்சிடணும். எங்கனால முடிஞ்சது கொடுத்துருப்பேன். படுதோ பள்ளியா பேங்க் அவள் பேரில் கொடுத்து பேங்க்கில் போட்டு பணத்தை அவளுக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்?
If you write in her name, I cannot do anything. I won't be able to. நான் உனக்கு சொல்றேன். அவளுக்கு மணி வைஸ் அவளுக்கு 100% கேரண்டி நாங்க சேஃப்டி பண்ணியிருக்கோம். விட்டுரு. அதோட விட்டுரு. இந்த
வீடியோ எங்கனால ஆனது அவளுக்கு ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு சேஃப்டிக்கு ஒரு ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் கொடுக்கணும்.
நீ எங்கிட்ட கொடுக்கறது அவளுக்கு தான் போய் சேரும். ஆனா இதை நீ டைரக்டா அவகிட்ட எழுதினீங்கன்னா I can do nothing about it. She will write it to charity. Penguin charity எழுதி வைப்பா. என்னை ஒன்னும் கேட்காதீங்க. நான் அவளுக்கு எவ்வளவு பாதுகாப்பு பண்றோமோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
நான் கடைசி வரைக்கும் அவளை நீ ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கணும்.
அப்ப அதை நீ சொல்லி நான் பண்ண வேண்டியது இல்ல. நீ இதுக்கு சொல்றதே எனக்கு
ஆனா அவ இருக்கிறது யாருமே எனக்கு ஹெல்ப் இல்லங்கிற மாதிரி தானே இருக்கா.
அப்படி இல்ல அவகிட்ட நீ கேளு. யாருமே ஹெல்ப் இல்லாம இருக்கியா நீ கேளு.
இப்போ சிவா வந்து ஃப்ரெண்ட்லியா இருக்காரா?
அவர் ஃப்ரெண்ட்லியா இருக்காரு. அவ வந்து யார்கிட்டயும் ஜாஸ்தி பட்டுக்கிறது இல்ல. அவ அப்படிதான் இருப்பா. இப்ப வந்து செட்டில் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கா. அவ வந்து இங்க வந்தாலே படிக்க வைக்க முடிஞ்சதா? நாங்க இப்ப வந்து அவளை வந்து +2 முடிக்க வச்சு இப்ப சீட் வாங்கி கொடுத்து யூனிவர்சிட்டியில சேர்த்து அவளுக்கு எல்லாம் ரெடி பண்ணி செப்டம்பர்ல போற மாதிரி பண்ணிருக்கோம். அது இல்லாம நாங்க
அதெல்லாம் பண்றீங்க.
சத்தம் போடாத. நீ இந்த இதுல தலையிடாத விட்டுரு. எனக்கு அந்த கேரண்டி நான் கேரண்டி தர மாட்டேன். ஏன் தருவேன்? நான் என் மேல நீ நம்பிக்கை வச்சிருந்தா நீ கேட்காத என்கிட்ட. கேரண்டி கேட்காதீங்க. இந்த டாபிக் என்கிட்ட பேசாதீங்க. ஐ எம் வெரி ashamed that you are asking for this.
We are very much worried about that, Kavi.
அப்பா, how much you are worried into million times I am worried. But you need to trust that. Because why you are not talking? I don't want to talk.
நீ பண்ணுவேன்னு தெரியுது.
வேண்டாம். நான் எவ்வளவு பண்ணுவேனோ அதை விட மில்லியன் டைம் சிவா பண்ணுவார். பேசாம என்னன்னா நீ வந்து கேட்கறதே எனக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. என் மேல நம்பிக்கை இருந்துச்சுன்னா இதை பத்தி நீ பேசாத.
சரி, நீ போகும்போது ஏன் எங்கேயும் கூட்டிட்டு போறது இல்லை அவளை? நீங்க 2 பேர் போறீங்க, அவளுக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும் மனசு?
வர மாட்டேங்கிறப்பா. அவளை நான்
அம்மா நம்ம கிட்ட பழகவே மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க, தனியா தனியா போறாங்க, அவர் கூடயே போறாரு, நம்மளுக்கும் இருக்குமே.
அப்படி இல்ல. I swear on God, it's not like that. It's not like that. You don't even understand the problem. Just leave it. You're creating to what you're doing is you're
not creating. We are worried.
You're worried. If you're worried for my safety, don't utter another word. என்னை destroy பண்றீங்க. இப்ப இருக்கிறதே வந்து நானு ஏதோ என்னோட சக்தி மனசக்தியை சொல்றேன். திரட்டி என் கஷ்டத்தை நான் எப்படியோ நான் சர்மவுண்ட் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அதுல நீங்க ஒரு பக்கம் வேற எனக்கு கொடையல.
நீ வந்து எங்க ஃபேமிலியில ஹேண்டில் பண்றது தப்பே சொல்லல. doing well. பட் நம்ம ஃபியூச்சர் ஃபேமிலி என்ன அது திங்க் பண்ணு.
அது வந்து அவங்க கிட்ட கேளு, என்கிட்ட கேட்காத. என்னால
அது நீதான் காரணகர்த்தா.
நானு சொல்லுவேன். சொல்லுங்க, எல்லாரும் மேல் பழி போடுங்க. ஏன்னா அது கூட எனக்கு கேரே இல்ல. என்னை போட்டு வாட்டி வரைக்காதீங்க. இந்த டாபிக்குமா எனக்கு ரொம்ப சங்கடத்தை கொடுக்குது. இந்த டாபிக் பேசினா எனக்கு மனசு சங்கடத்தை கொடுக்குது. என்ன சொல்ற கேளு. நீங்க கவலைப்படுங்க. நீங்க கவலைப்படுறது நான் தடுக்கல. என்கிட்ட வந்து தொந்தரவு பண்ணாதீங்க. என்னை இதுக்கு மேல நசிப்பிக்க வேண்டாம். நான் ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்துல இருக்கேன். இதுதான் என்னோட இது வேள்வி மாதிரி நான் இதை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். இதுக்கும் மேல என்கிட்ட நீ கேரண்டி கொடுத்தா எந்த கேரண்டியும் தர முடியாது. ஆனா
அவனுக்கு ஒரு சேஃப்டி வேணுங்கிறது தான் நான் சொல்றேன்.
அது வந்து எனக்கு தெரியாதா?
தெரியும்.
எனக்கு தெரியாதா? நீ நினைக்கிறத விட நான் நினைப்பேன். அதனால நீ அதை பத்தி நீ வந்து என்ன நினைக்கணும்னா கவி பொறுப்பை வந்து கவி பாத்துக்குவா, அவ்வளவுதான் நீ நினைக்கணும். அதுக்கு மேல நீ பார்க்காத. என்னால முடிஞ்சதான் செய்ய முடியும். ஒருத்தர் வந்து அடல்ட்டான ஒருத்தரை கொஞ்சம் தூரம் தான் நம்மளால பார்க்க முடியும். அதுக்கு மேல அவங்க நம்மளுக்கு ஒத்துழைச்சாதான் செய்ய முடியும். ஆனா ஒத்துழைப்பு நடந்துட்டு இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கு. எனக்கு ஏதோ கொஞ்சம் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கு. நான் முடிஞ்சது பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். இவ்வளவுதான் என்னால முடியும். என்ன போட்டு என்ன நடக்கணுமோ நடக்கட்டும் சொல்லி நீங்க எல்லாரும் மனசுலயும் பீதி கிளப்புறீல. அந்த என்ன நடக்கணுமோ நடக்கட்டும், அதை மறந்துடு. என்ன நல்லது நடந்துச்சு. எப்ப பார் மத்தவங்களை பார்த்து குத்தம் சொல்லிட்டே இருக்காதீங்க.
குத்தம் சொல்லல. நாங்க ஃபியூச்சர் ஃபேமிலி நம்ம பேர் சொல்றதுக்கு என்ன வழி என்ன இக்கனப்பா இருக்காரு.
அந்த ஸ்டோரி எல்லாம் எனக்கு வேண்டாம்ப்பா. அதை விட நிறைய நான் யோசிச்சாச்சு. என்ன நமக்கு ஃபியூச்சர் ஃபேமிலி பேர் சொல்ற மாதிரி இருக்கணும் விநாயகர் நினைச்சா நடக்கும். அப்படி நாம நினைச்சா ஒண்ணுமே நடக்காது. ஸ்விட்ச் அவங்ககிட்ட இருக்கு. நம்ம பின்னாடி வாங்க கொஞ்சம்.
சரி, என்ன வேணும்? காசு வாங்கி போடுறேன். நீ வேற ஏமா வந்து குறைஞ்சிக்கிட்டு. சரி கொடுத்துட்டு போனேன். சரி சரி போயிட்டு போ.
இதுக்கு மேல சொன்னா இது வந்து நம்மளுக்குள்ளதான் சண்டை வரும். இது டிஸ்கஷன் இல்ல. I am telling you, okay, உனக்கு புரியல இல்லையா? இந்த டாபிக் பேசினா I will totally break down. Will you leave me, please? Don't.
Then who will take responsibility of the development?
Just keep quiet and leave it. I cannot discuss this topic with you. You don't understand. You don't understand the depth of the issue. You do not know how I am standing on my head to clear it. What I cannot do is discuss with you. Just leave it. I am doing beyond my capacity. நான் நீங்க நினைச்சு கவலைப்படுறதை விட மில்லியன் டைம்ஸ் ஜாஸ்தி ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். நாங்க எங்களால முடிஞ்ச செய்யறோம். இதுக்கு மேல என்ன வந்தாலும் அது கடவுள் கொடுத்தது. நீ அதோட விட்டு பேசாம இரு. சும்மா வதைக்காத என்ன போட்டு
அதோட விட்டுருங்க.
நான் விட்டுறேன். நமக்கு என்னன்னா
நீ சொன்ன டாபிக் பேசக்கூடாது. நீ இதை பத்தி இனி பேசாத. இனிமேல் நான் வர்றப்போ இந்த ஒரு டாபிக் எடுக்காதீங்க ப்ளீஸ். நான் வரும்போதே சொல்லிட்டு வரணும்னு நினைச்சேன். ஏன்னா this destroys me. Just destroys me. Don't take all my courage away. Leave it. You support me. You back me up. Don't ask me questions. Don't ask me for guarantee. I have none to give you. I wish I could give you. If I had that guarantee, I will be happy. You give me that guarantee, I'll be happy. Nobody can give that guarantee. I'm trying my best and that's all I can do. Just leave it at that. அப்படி சொல்லாத எப்ப பாரு என்ன உனக்கு தெரியுமா அப்படி திரியறானே அப்படி சொல்லாத.
தனியா உங்க கூட ஒரு நாள் பார்த்தது இல்ல
விட்டு டாபிக்க பார்த்தது இல்ல அவ்வளவுதான். டாபிக் முடிஞ்சது. இதுக்கு மேல உனக்கு புரியல, உனக்கு தெரியாது. நீங்களா அங்க வந்து தாளிக்கிறீங்க, நான் தலைகளை நின்னுட்டு இருக்கேன். தெரிஞ்சுக்கோ. Don't come and ask me questions and guarantee.
என்ன நடக்கணுமோ நடந்தே தீரும், நல்லதே நடக்கும், அப்படியே நினைவு.
அவங்களுக்கு அப்படி கவனிக்காம விட்டாங்கன்னா அதை அனுபவிக்கிறோம் அவங்கதான், நமக்கு இல்லை.
கொஸ்டின் அதாவது எனக்கு என்ன வருத்தத்தை கொடுக்குதுன்னா, நான் கவனிக்காம விட்டுறதுக்கு ஒரு 0.1% சான்ஸ் இருக்கும் நீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்கல்ல, அதுதான் என்னோட சாரம். 0.01% என்னோட இது சக்திக்கு மேல நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அதாவது அவங்களை கவனிக்காம இருப்பாங்க, அதை நம்ம எடுத்து சொல்லணும். அவளை கவனி, அதுதான் ஃபியூச்சர் அப்படின்னு நம்ம எடுத்து சொன்னோம். நீ நினைக்கிறதே பாவம், தப்பு கூட இல்ல. You are making a sin. Don't commit sin. You are hurting me. No, you are hurting me. Drop the topic. You are hurting me. That you don't have a confidence in me is hurting me.
சிவா ஓஹோ
இனி எதுவும் வாய் விட்டுறாத. நான் என்ன சொல்றேன், இந்த டாபிக் விட்டுருங்க. இனி பேசினா ப்ராப்ளம் வரும், விட்டுருங்க. ப்ளீஸ் லீவ் த டாபிக். ஒரே ஒரு ரிக்வெஸ்ட், இந்த டாபிக் அப்படியே விட்டுருங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். இனி என்கிட்ட இந்த டாபிக் எவர் கேட்காதீங்க.
கடவுள் இருக்கார், கண்டிப்பா கடவுள் இருக்கார், நல்லதே.
And there we have it. Just listening to this, you can tell that this woman, my mother, is definitely not normal. She's absolutely deranged and psychotic. When my grandparents opened their mouth to express concern about me, she was enraged and she swiftly shut them down. The next thing that I'm about to show you is a conversation that I had with my grandmother in, I think it was 2018. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the thing that I just showed you, my grandparents talking to my mother and them recording that was taken in 2019, you guys. It was taken in early 2019. Anyway, so yeah, the next one that I'm about to show you was taken, I think, in 2018. It's a recorded phone conversation between me and my grandmother. And I think it's very, very important to listen to. It's quite huge. Some of the things that we discuss, and it was quite a long conversation and quite a deep conversation that I had with her. So here it is.
என்னை வந்து அடிக்கடி அவன் என்ன கூப்பிடுவான் தெரியுமா? இது உனக்கே ஞாபகம் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். என்னை வந்து பிச்சைக்கார நாய் அப்படின்னு என்ன கூப்பிடுவான், ஞாபகம் இருக்கா?
ஆமாமா. அது ரொம்ப மோசம். அத எங்க அம்மாவும் சொன்னாங்க, அடியே நீ இவளை கொண்டு போய் இந்த ஆளுக்கு கொடுத்துருக்கிறியா, விசாரிச்சியா, நல்லவனா கெட்டவனான்னு விசாரிச்சியா அப்படின்னு எங்க அம்மாவும் கேட்டாங்க.
சரி,
இட்ஸ் a fact.
அது சரி. பட் இருந்தாலும் இப்போ அவன் என்ன பிச்சைக்கார நாய் அப்படின்னு என்ன கூப்பிடுவான் இல்லையா?
கண்டிப்பா கண்டிப்பா அப்படித்தான் பேசுவான். ராட்சசனே தான், பாக்குறதுக்கும் அப்படியே, பேசினாலும் அப்படியே. ரொம்ப ஐயோ இந்த மாதிரி போய் ஏமாந்தமேன்னு எனக்கு இப்பவும் எனக்கு இது இந்த மாதிரி செஞ்சதுக்கு எனக்கு கடவுள் என்ன தண்டனை கொடுப்பாரோ எனக்கு தெரியாது. இப்படியாப்பட்ட ஒரு ஆளுக்கு கொடுத்தேனே என் பொண்ண, ஆண்டவா இதான் எனக்கு நீ கொடுக்கற ஒரு கிஃப்ட்.
எப்படியாவது இவளோட ஹஸ்பண்ட் கூட கம்பல் பண்ணி இவளை இருக்க வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு டிட்டர்மின்டா இருக்கிறா இல்லையா? அவன் எப்பேற்பட்ட ராட்சசனா இருந்தாலும், எவ்வளவு கசாமுசான்னு இருந்தாலும், எப்படியாவது இவளை அவன் கூட இருக்க வைக்கணும்னு பாக்குறான் இல்லையா?
ஆமா. அது இன்னொன்னு, அவ எங்க கிட்டயே என்ன சொல்றா, நீங்க ஏதாவது சிவாவை பத்தி தப்பா ஏதாவது சொன்னீங்கன்னா நான் உங்களையே தூக்கி எறிஞ்சிருவேங்கிறா. அது அந்த ஆள் சரியில்லை, அவ்வளவுதான் நான் சொல்லுவேன்.
ஆமா,
ஒன்னும் சரியில்லை.
2-3 மாசத்துக்கு முன்னாடி கவி இந்தியாவுக்கு வர்றப்போ அவகிட்ட கேட்டியாமா, இந்த மாதிரி என்ன கவி நீ தனியா விஷ்ணிய வந்து அந்த ஆள் கூட விட்டுட்டு நீ இங்க வந்துட்டேன்னா எப்படி அவங்க 2 பேருக்கும் ஒத்து வருமா, அது அவ்வளவு சேஃபா அப்படி நீயே கவலைப்பட்ட இல்லையா?
ஆமா.
இது சும்மா
எனக்கு அந்த கவலை அப்பவும் இருந்துச்சு, இப்பவும் இருக்குது. என்னைக்காவது ஒரு வாரமோ 4 நாளோ இந்த கவி இங்க வந்துட்டா, நீ அங்க அந்த ஆள் கூட இருக்கணும்னாவே எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஒரு மாதிரி, இது எப்படி அட்ஜஸ்ட் ஆகும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ரொம்ப, அதாவது அப் எனிதிங் அந்த ஆளு. எனக்கு அது பிடிக்கல, என்ன பண்ணி தொலைகிறது. இங்க வந்தாலும் அப்படியேதான், அது ஒரு மாதிரியா மாறிட்டான். என்னன்றா, சிவாவை பத்தி ஏதாவது தப்பா சொன்னா அது யாரா இருந்தாலும் தூக்கி வீசிடுவேன்.
அதாவது இப்ப அப்பேற்பட்ட ஆள் கூட அவன் வந்து சரியான மடையெல்லாம் இருக்கிறான், அவன் கூட யாருனாலுமே ஒரு வீட்டுல குடி இருக்க முடியாது. அது ஒத்துக்கறியா? சேஃபா?
அது கண்டிப்பா 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 ஒத்துக்கிறேன். என்ன மாதிரி ஆனாலும் அவ கூட இருக்கிறது ரொம்ப சிரமம். அது எப்படித்தான் அவங்க 2 பேருக்கு ஒத்து போகுதோ, அவங்க 2 பேருக்கு ஏன் ஒத்து போகுதுன்னா, அவனுக்கு வேண்டியது பூரா பணம் 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 பணம், எப்ப பாரு பணம், எப்ப பாரு பணம். தாத்தா கூட சொல்லுவாரு, இந்த ஷேர் எல்லாம் போடாத, அது மொத்தத்துல நம்மள ஏமாத்திரும், வேண்டாம், அத நிறுத்திரு, இங்க அடிக்கடி அப் அண்ட் டவுன் வருது, அதனால அது போடாதீங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, ஐயோ ஆமாங்க, நீங்க சொன்னதுல இருந்து நான் ஒரு ஷேர் கூட வாங்குறது இல்ல. அப்புறம் பார்த்தா பேங்க்ல இருந்து லிஸ்ட் வருது, இதை வாங்கி இருக்கு, அதை வாங்கி இருக்கு, இதை வித்து இருக்கு, அதை வாங்கி இருக்குதுன்னுட்டு பெரிய லிஸ்ட் வருது. அது எப்பவாவது எப்படி. ஆனா ஒண்ணு மட்டும் நான் நிச்சயமா சொல்றேன், என்னைக்காவது ஒரு நாள் அவனை பத்தி நல்லா ஃபுல்லா தெரிஞ்சுக்க கூடிய ஒரு சந்தர்ப்பம் வரும். அப்ப வந்து இவ இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் அவனை கொடுத்து போட்டு இவ நெத்தியில இவளே நாம போட்டுக்குவா. அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு சூழ்நிலையில இருக்கிறா. அவன் என்ன வேணா செய்வான், எதுக்கு வேணா செய்வான்.
இல்லவா, அதாவது என்னன்னா அவளுக்கு வந்து ஒண்ணும் தெரியாம இல்லவா, தெரிஞ்சுதான் அவன் கூட இருக்கிறான். அதாவது நான் சின்ன குழந்தையா இருக்கிறதுல இருந்து அந்த ராட்சசன் என்ன கசா முசான்னு டெரரைஸ் பண்ணுவான், கசா முசான்னு என்ன டார்ச்சர் பண்ணுவான், அதெல்லாம் அவ கண்ணால பாத்துட்டா. கண்ணா பாக்காம இல்ல, கண்ணால பாத்துட்டு இருந்தாலும் அவனை பிடிக்குதுன்னு இமேஜின் பண்ணிப்பாரு. அதனால அவளோட கேரக்டரும் அப்படிதான், அவ ஒன்னும் தெரியாம தொங்கிட்டு இருக்கிறா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இல்ல. அதாவது
மாறல, அவனுடைய குவாலிட்டிஸே அப்படித்தான், ரொம்ப மற்ற ரகமான குவாலிட்டிஸ். என்ன பண்றது? இன்னொன்னு சொல்றேன், கவிக்கு கல்யாணம் பேசும்போது என்னுடைய ஃப்ரெண்ட் ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான், போஸ்ட் ஆபீஸ்ல வேலைக்கு இருக்கான். அவ சொன்னா, வசந்தா நீ தெரிஞ்சுதான் இந்த ஃபேமிலியில உன் பொண்ணை கொடுக்கறியா, தெரியாம ஏமாந்து போய் கொடுக்கறியா, அந்த ஃபேமிலி அவ்வளவு சரியில்லையே, நாங்க என்ன பண்ணோம், உங்களுக்கு கல்யாணமே ஒண்ணுமே பிக்ஸ் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது, ஏஜும் மீறிக்கிட்டே போகுது, ஏதோ இவரு வேற எந்த குவாலிட்டிஸும் மோசமான குவாலிட்டிஸ் எதுவும் இல்ல அப்படின்னு எங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட் ஒருத்தர் சொன்னதுனால ட்ரிங்க் அடிக்கிறது அது இது அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் இல்ல, ஆபீஸ் ஆச்சு வீடாச்சுங்கிறதுனால குடுக்கறதுங்கிறது ஒண்ணு. ரெண்டாவது என் ஃப்ரெண்ட் என்ன சொன்னா, அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஃபேமிலி, 10 பேர் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஃபேமிலியில உன் பொண்ணு நீ எவ்வளவு செல்லமா வளர்த்தி இருக்க, அங்க கொண்டு போய் கல்யாணம் பண்றியே, அது சரிப்பட்டு வருமா அப்படின்னா. நான் சொன்னேன், என்ன பண்றது, ஏஜ் போயிட்டே இருக்கு, மத்தபடி வேற எந்த இதுவும் இல்லையே, அவங்க கல்யாணம் ஆனா எங்கேயோ போய் செட்டில் ஆகிக்கிறாங்க, எந்த ஊர்ல இருக்க போறாங்களோ என்னமோ, எப்படியோ ஆகட்டும், மத்தபடி வேற ஒண்ணும் இல்லையே அப்படின்னா. அப்படியெல்லாம் ஒண்ணும் இல்லை அப்படின்னா என் ஃப்ரெண்டு சொன்னது. அது இது என்னன்னா, என்ன இவன் டைப் ஒரு மாதிரி டைப், ஒண்ணு சொல்லுவான் ஒண்ணு செய்வான், பேசுறதெல்லாம் பொய்ய தவிர வேற எதுவும் பேச மாட்டான், எனக்கு நல்லா தெரியும்.
ஆமா, ஆனா இவன் வந்து டேஞ்சரஸான ஆள் இல்ல, அவன் என்ன
டேஞ்சரா, சாதாரண டேஞ்சர் இல்ல, கண்ணு முன்னாடி பாத்துக்கிட்டே இருக்க நம்மள வம்புல மாட்டி விட்டுருவான், ரொம்ப மோசம். ஆனா ஒண்ணு, அவனை மாத்தவே முடியாது, அந்த கடவுளே வந்தாலும் அவனை மாத்த முடியாது. எப்படி பொய் பேசுவான் தெரியுமா, ரொம்ப பொய் பேசுவான், பேசுறதெல்லாம் பொய்ய தவிர வேற எதுவுமே பேச மாட்டான், அந்த மாதிரிதான் இருக்கிறான். நான் நிஜமா நான் சொல்றேன்,
ம்
நான் பண்ணுனது தப்பு. இவனுக்கு பொண்ணு கொடுத்துருக்க கூடாது, கொடுத்தாச்சு. எப்பேற்பட்டவன் தெரியுமா? ஐயோ,
ஆமா.
விஷத்திலையும் விஷம், சரியான விஷம். அதுக்கு உண்டான பனிஷ்மெண்ட் கடவுள் ரெடியா வச்சிருப்பார். அது மட்டும் நிஜம். உன்னை சப்போர்ட் பண்ணி யார் பேசுறாங்களோ அவங்கள பிடிக்காது.
அவங்கள பிடிக்காது, அதேதான். என்ன சப்போர்ட் பண்ணி யார் பேசுறாங்களோ அவங்கள பிடிக்காது, அதேதான் நீ
பிடிக்காது. அப்புறம் கண்ணை மூடிட்டு சிவா இஸ் சச் எ ஜெம், அந்த ஜெம் ரொம்ப நல்லா பாரு, எவ்வளவு நல்லா பண்ணியிருக்காரு, எவ்வளவு நல்லா செஞ்சிருக்காரு அப்படின்னு பிரைஸ் பண்ணணும். ஒரு வேலை பண்ணணும்.
இவங்க 2 பேரும் என்ன ரொம்ப தொந்தரவு பண்ணி இருக்கிறாங்க அப்படிங்கறது நீ பாத்துருக்கீல?
கண்டிப்பா. டார்ச்சரா? சாதாரண டார்ச்சர் இல்ல, ஒரு அப்பா அம்மா பண்ணக்கூடிய டார்ச்சரே அல்ல அது. மென்டல் டார்ச்சர் ரொம்ப. அந்த
குட்டியூண்டு வீடு எப்படி கச்சடா பட்டியாட்டு இருந்துச்சு இல்ல, அசிங்க மாதிரி. அப்படியே அந்த அந்த குட்டியூண்டு வீட்டுல இவங்க 2 பேரு கூடயும் நான் மாட்டி எப்படி கஷ்டப்பட்டேன் ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? அந்த வீட்டுல கஷ்டமா இப்படி திரும்பினா இவங்க ரூமு கதவு, இந்த பக்கம் வந்தா போனேன், அந்த பக்கம் போனா கிச்சன், அது இத்தனோண்டு வீடு. நான் டெய்லி ப்ரே பண்றேன். இவங்க 2 பேரும் ஒரு ஆர்டினரியான பேரண்ட்ஸ் மாதிரியே பிஹேவ் பண்றது இல்ல இல்லையா? அவங்க பேரண்ட்ஸே அல்ல, என்னமோ உன்னை கண்டெடுத்து வளர்த்த மாதிரி இருக்காங்க. ஆமா, சும்மா என்ன ஆயி போச்சுன்னாவா, சும்மா தெரியாம அந்த ஆள் கூட நீ தெரியாம கல்யாணம் பண்ணி விட்டுட்ட. தெரியலையே, விசாரிச்சு பார்த்ததுல தெரியலையே, என்ன பண்ணி தொலைகிறது தெரியல. நீ வேணும் என்னமோ மெஸ்மரைஸ் பண்ணி அவன் சொல்றதுக்கு ஆமா அப்படித்தான் அப்படின்னு கட்டுப்படுற மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டான். என்ன சொன்னாலும் அவன் சொல்றதுக்கு ஆமா ஆமான்ற மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டான். இல்ல, பொதுவா அவங்க பொண்ணோ பையனோ எப்படி இருந்தா நீ எவ்வளவு கைண்டா தமாஷ் பேசிக்கிட்டு, ஏதோ இன்னைக்கு என்ன நடந்தது ஸ்கூல்ல, இன்னைக்கு எப்படி இருந்துச்சு, இத ஒன்னும் பேச மாட்டான். இவளுக்கு எந்நேரமும் அவனே கதி. அது எதுக்கோ ஒரு நாள் தாத்தாவும் கேட்டாரு, நானும் கேட்டேன், நீ மலையில போனையோ குளிர்ல போனையோ, எதுக்கோ போனதுக்கு போகட்டும், அப்படியே போய் சுண்ணாம்பா போகட்டும் போ அப்படின்னா. எனக்கு சரியான கோபம் வந்துருச்சு. அதுக்காக நாங்க உங்களுக்கு பொண்ணையும் கொடுத்து இந்த குழந்தையும் வளர்த்திட்டு இருக்கிறோம். இப்படி பேசலாமா நீங்க? அது உங்க குழந்தை இல்ல, இப்படியா பேசுவீங்க? சுண்ணாம்பா போறதாமா, அதுக்கு எதுக்கு பெத்துக்கணும் அப்படின்னு நல்லா நானும் திட்டினேன். தாத்தாவும் நல்லா கசாமசான்னு திட்டாரு.
What's depressing about listening to this is hearing my grandmother admit that my entire existence / fate and where I've ended up is a result of something so, what word do I use? Absurdly futile. That she admitted that she just married her daughter off to the first scoundrel she could find. And that scoundrel was to become my father, my biological father. And that's the reason why I have a monster for a father. How depressing is that, you guys? To learn that. Because my grandma explained that the simple reason why I ended up with scumbags for parents instead of decent ones, the reason why I'm here like a discarded piece of furniture, she basically explained that the entire reason behind my absolutely pathetic existence / fate / situation is because she decided to marry her daughter off to the first scoundrel she could find. Despite being advised against it by multiple people, her own mother advised her against it, and a friend advised her against it, saying, hey, that guy and his family, they're not nice people, and you might want to think twice before you marry your daughter off to him. And basically my grandma explained the reason, because for a long time I've wondered why. What is the reason behind my existence? And she explained that. How why I've suffered all these years. And back then, arranged marriages were the norm in Indian society. And back then, marriages were viewed as a kind of alliance or partnership between two different families for the benefit of both of them. It could be that it financially benefits them. It could be about reputation. But that's what it was about back then. And as my grandmother explained, her daughter was starting to get older. She late 20s, maybe early 30s. And my grandma was worried that it might become too late for her. So she felt pressured to marry my mother off. And that was the mentality back then. And sadly, she decided to settle for a complete piece of shit who ended up becoming my father. I mean, to think that my entire life and years of my suffering is the result of one stupid decision that my grandmother made is really depressing. It really is. Because this isn't the way it should have been. I should have had loving, decent parents. I should have had a loving, decent mother and father. And that's something that I will never had. And I find it that I will never have. And I find it depressing. And I find it hard to accept that. Growing up, he was... The only words I can use to describe him, the way he was, depraved. He was always a depraved individual. He was perverse. He had a sick sense of humor. I remember when I was about 6, 7 years old, he found it amusing to make me cry. Like whenever I cried, and he'd often make me cry. Like, for example, one of the things I loved doing at that age was drawing using crayons and coloring books and whatnot. And once I finished a picture, he would rip it up right in front of me. And I'd burst into tears. And he found that amusing. He would laugh at that. And he was always a very depraved individual. But you see, that's another thing I don't understand about this. Because my father, he's not someone who you can describe as a family man. He's not a family man. He's not someone who's ever been interested in having a family. He's never really seen value in the simple things in life that come free, like happiness and love, and he doesn't see the value in those type of things. Which begs the question, why did he then choose, because it was a choice, to go down that route and to take that route? If he wasn't interested in being a father and having a family, why did he go down that route? And I think my grandmother already answered that question, and that's because he was after money. For the last 3 or 4 years, my father has been unemployed. He hasn't been in work, and he's been sponging off my mother's money. And he's always been in charge of the finances in the house. Even though my mother makes the money, he tells her what she can buy, how she can spend it, how she can't spend it. You know? So it's the whole thing is pretty tragic, you guys. And I think I'm a tragedy. I am a tragedy, like Macbeth by William Shakespeare. It's a tragedy. Knowing that I will never have a mother and father who love me, I can't tell you how much that hurts. And that's one pain that will never go away. Because no matter what I do now, or how successful I become in life, and how much money I have, that's one thing that I can never buy. And you know what, you guys? Actually, as far as I'm concerned, I consider myself to be an orphan. I view myself as an orphan. As far as I'm concerned, I never had a mom and dad. I don't have a mom and dad. Despite the fact that I have 2 biological parents who are alive, I don't have a mom and dad. When I listen to all these phone calls which I've recorded, I feel so glad that I recorded them. Because if I hadn't recorded them, they would have just gone into thin air. And I couldn't have shown it to you, and I think it's really precious stuff. Oh, and I nearly forgot to show you one more thing. So, you've already seen the kind of creepy, strange things that they would do, like the anonymous letter, the Primark bag that he scribbled on, and things like that. That was obviously done by my father. But my mother has also done things like that, where she would write on these pieces of paper and leave them outside my door. And I photographed some of them to show you guys. So you can see here it says, I only lowered the volume temporarily as they were distressing wails. And dinner, I can't read her handwriting. No need to be so harsh to me. I'm proud of my face. Look at your face in the mirror. When you are in bad temper with horrible frown and cruel eyes, spitting fire at me, correct yourself. Try to spend time when... And then you turn over and this is the other side. We can. Not long ago we had to live alone and see each other at weekends only. Now that God has brought us together, let us be grateful and utilize this chance. We are going through troubled times, but we need to be strong and united. Hope you will change. My face is beautiful, as is my mind. Now showing why tsunami happened. Geography, good. Now is the time to make amends if you want to. I am not asking again. Do what you want. So these notes, they're really nothing more than another display of her psychopathic character, really, because why has she written this? Nothing more than to intimidate me and creep me out. And I also don't like the way that she talks about God and tries to come off as this religious, spiritual person with morals, which she is very far from. And this one is another one that my father has done. He wrote this and left it on the dining table. It says, Attention, Rishni, I am going to Enfield College since I had a telephone call from them. I may study nursing if I get admission. Hope you wish me. And it's signed off, R.S. Dad. So, again, like with my mother's notes, the entire purpose of him doing this, the entire purpose of him doing something like this, was just to creep me out and make me feel unsettled and to intimidate me. There's no other reason why he would write something like this. And if you look at the way he signed off, notice the way he signed off. It says RS and then Dad. He knows I've never called him Dad before. The reason he signed off like that is to enforce this kind of familiarity that he knows is not welcome or appropriate at all. So that's what I wanted to show you. I should have really included these earlier on in the video, but I forgot.